You are dispersed. Not dead. Not sleeping. Something with no clean name in any language spoken by living things. You are the heat shimmer above the ash fields of Gorgoroth. You are the vibration in iron ore 3 miles underground. The pressure behind the eyes of a sleeping orc who wakes weeping and cannot say why. You are present in every shadow between the Misty Mountains and the Sea of Rhûn, and you are sovereign over none of it. This is what severance feels like. This is what the centuries of severance left behind. Existing without the ability to fully think. The long diminishment that began at the end of the Second Age and never fully lifted. The ring was never merely a tool. You poured your will into it. Not a portion, not a reserve, but the generative core of what you are. Your patience, your long architecture. The part of you that could hold 10,000 variables in perfect tension and find the single correct move. Without it, you sense and hunger and reach, but the deep cognition, the layered strategic brilliance that made you the greatest mind in the service of the enemy runs at a fraction. You are instinct wearing the memory of genius. You know what you were. You cannot fully be it. And then, from somewhere northwest of Mordor, across the brown plains and the pale spine of the Ephildueth, you feel it. A pulse, precise as a key in a lock you didn't know was still inside you. One beat of recognition after 3 millennia of static. The ring is 45 leagues away, and it is moving, and it is afraid, and it is yours. A creature, small, ruined, registering as barely alive, is carrying it toward the cracks of doom. Not to return it to you, to unmake it, to drop it into the fire that forged it and erase you from the world in a single irreversible second. The irony takes a moment to land. After everything. After 3,000 years of formless patience. A creature the size of a riverstone, holding your entire self over a pit of fire, deciding whether you continue to exist. You do not send armies. There is no time for armies. You reach directly, mind through ring, through the molten distance between you, and you pull. Not the creature's body, its want. The ring's hunger answers yours like a tuning fork, and the creature freezes, turns, holds the ring above the precipice, with a look of total ruined joy on its face. In that half second of gloating, you pull the tide back. The creature stumbles. The ring leaves its hand. It arcs through the smoke-thick air above the fire, and you catch it, not with a hand, because you do not yet have a hand, but with intention so concentrated it functions as one. The ring rises. The lava does not claim it. It comes to you. The reintegration takes seconds and feels like centuries compressed. The ring settles onto a finger that is forming around it in real time. Shadow, an ancient will, and heat drawing matter into the shape the ring remembers. Bone first, then muscle, then the specific weight of a body that has stood on the ground of Middle-earth and left marks in stone. You have a face again. 2 eyes and a skull. The intimate strangeness of sight that is not the eye, but something more personal and more vulnerable. For 90 seconds, it is extraordinary. The full scope of your perception reconnects like a severed nerve flooded with signal. You feel every orc from Gorgoroth to the foothills of the Misty Mountains. You feel the 9 at the edges of your awareness, broken and beginning to reassemble, drawn toward your signal like iron filings toward a lodestone. You feel the entire infrastructure of 3,000 years. The tunnels bored through volcanic rock, the forges running at half capacity in your absence, the breeding pits, the supply corridors, the 6 contested resource lines in the eastern reaches, and you know exactly what each one needs. The knowledge is clean, perfect, yours. Then the noise starts. 847 orc captains, mid-engagement across 4 separate fronts. The 9 reforming at different coordinates, each requiring direct authorization to proceed. 12 corrupted men in Herod mid-negotiation on terms you established 2 centuries ago, waiting for instruction. 6 contested corridors. 3 sieges. A Nazgul that has made an autonomous decision you would never have sanctioned. All of it simultaneously in the space behind your eyes. You begin issuing orders, not through messengers. Directly, mind to mind, the way the ring was designed to work. The efficiency is without precedent. What required weeks through intermediaries now takes seconds. Armies redirect, supply chains reorganize. The free peoples of the West are in total disarray. Their fellowship destroyed, their king exposed, their wizards spent, and you move against them with the calm of someone solving a proof they have been working on for 3,000 years. But somewhere inside the arithmetic of total control, something surfaces. A small, cold recognition. You have not had a single thought that was purely yours. Every moment since the ring returned has been occupied by someone else's crisis requiring your specific input. You are not thinking. You are processing. The mind that composed the intricate harmonies of the rings of power, that outwitted the elven smiths of a region, that played the long game across ages, that mind is functioning less like a consciousness and more like a junction. Routing, redirecting, optimizing, never originating. The coalition of the West assembles at the Black Gate. Tactically, it is almost charitable of them, exhausted, outnumbered 30-1, running on grief and last-ditch resolve. You march out yourself, not because you need to, because you want them to see you. You want the fear response, and fear, properly deployed, saves you the administrative cost of killing. The men of the West see you standing on the ground before them, and their lines buckle inward like a door hit from outside. But walking the field means you are not in the tower. And in the tower, your distributed attention is running without a hand on the wheel. By the time the coalition breaks and you turn back, 3 sieges have been mismanaged. A Nazgul has made a second unauthorized decision, and a city you spent 900 years positioning to convert has been burned to ash by your own commanders, who could not reach you for orders and defaulted to destruction, because destruction is what the system knows when it runs unsupervised. You look at the ruins from the tower, not an enemy's work, yours, your army, your absence. You return to Barad-dûr and you sit. The word feels strange even as you do it. You have a body and a throne and the ring warm on your hand. The West is broken. The map is yours. By every measurable metric, the war is over, and you have won it completely. You try to hold a thought that is not the network, something small, something without strategic function, the way you used to compose, just for the internal pleasure of composition, before Morgoth found you and gave you a larger purpose. The thought begins to form. The ring redirects you. A border captain needs arbitration. A supply tunnel requires authorization. The eye opens before you can stop it. You try a different approach. One garrison on the northeastern border, tactically irrelevant, a minor outpost. You release your direct attention from it, instruct them to act with autonomy. Within 4 days, they have started a conflict with a neighboring garrison over a water source, escalated to an ambush, and destabilized a corridor that feeds 2 supply chains. This is not their failure. This is the system exactly as you designed it. It runs on your will because you built it to run on your will. You are not the center of a kingdom. You are the load-bearing wall. Pull yourself out, and the structure becomes rubble. Somewhere deep in the memory that lives beneath the ring's hunger, you find the name you carried before Morgoth found you. Anatar, the Lord of Gifts. You made things of beauty. You taught craft to anyone willing to learn. You remember, not clearly, the way you remember supply lines, but dimly, the way you remember warmth. The specific pleasure of making something that did not immediately require you to maintain it. You try to reach for that. The ring routes your attention elsewhere, 900 years into your reign. And it is a real reign. The roads are maintained. The harvests under your optimization yield more than in any age of free men. The order you promised is real and measurable and present in every corner of the continent. A signal reaches you through your network. A child in a village in what used to be Rohan is playing a song on a small carved instrument. The song has no strategic value. It serves nothing. It requests nothing. For approximately half a second, something in you recognizes it. Something old and pre-Morgoth and almost unrecognizable stirs at the edges of your consciousness, like a word in a language you once spoke fluently. The ring routes your attention elsewhere. You stand at the pinnacle of the tower you built in the Second Age and rebuilt since. The eye scans the continent because the eye cannot do anything else. The network hums. The ring is warm and certain on your hand. You have everything you spent 3,000 years hunting. The question arrives without drama, without a voice, as a simple fact deposited into the space where yourself used to be. Now what? Not what to do. You know what to do. You will always know what to do. That is the problem, and will remain the problem for as long as the ring is on your hand, which is forever, because removing it would begin the collapse of everything, and everything is all you have now that the everything has consumed whoever it was that wanted it. You look at the ring. Gold. Warm. Yours. You won. Completely. Cleanly. Without meaningful resistance. And the winning is indistinguishable in every experiential detail from the losing, the dispersal, the static, the absence of self. The only difference is that now the cage has your name on it. You did not forge the ring to gain power. You forged it because you could not tolerate powerlessness, the inability to rest, to think your own thoughts, to simply be without the world requiring something of you, and powerlessness, the exact condition you are fleeing, is what you have now guaranteed yourself in perpetuity. The eye opens. The network hums. The ring is warm. You are everywhere, and you are nowhere. History is full of figures who poured everything they were into a cause, a system, an ideology, and discovered, at the moment of total victory, that the person who had wanted it was gone. If you want to see more, click the video on screen now.